Hello and welcome to the Super League Pom-Cast. This is the latest episode, which is episode 5, I think we're on,
I
if
think
I
you're right.
remember rightly. And I am yet again joined by Andy from the Only in Rugby League podcasts. How are we doing, Andy?
I'm good, mate. Good, are you?
Yeah, you're looking very suntanned, or is it sunburn, or is it stress? Which one of the three?
It's stress, but as you know, I'm still recovering from an op, so I've not been able to do much. So I've not all I've done is sat outside in the sun, and that's
Well, I
it.
mean, with a couple of Imtos, I'm certain.
That's it. That's all I've been able. That's all I've been able to do. Yeah,
And also to keep on track with all the rugby league news and all the rugby league games to everything that you need of a weekend.
yeah. There's
So
never
what we
much.
never much is every day in rugby league there seems to be something, especially when you're in the UK. I mean, you did name a
Mm.
podcast after it, after all. Um, so what is on the agenda today, you may ask? Of course, number one topic we're going to talk about is Chairman Nige. You've heard of Chairman Mao. This is now Chairman Knob. We've got we've got all the chat of Nige's new appointment and the ongoing meeting that is scheduled for later this week. We then go on and talk about the Salford strike. Yeah, it's not the Dockers strike of the 1920s. It is the Salford players finally writing to the RFL saying, "Look, we've had enough." And then we're going to finish off on two topics. The first one is it's about the TVs. Not only the TV deal, the TV schedules, TV everything we're talking about. We're having rants, raves, and everything about that. And the fourth one, we'll keep that a surprise until the end. So please stay tuned. Or if you can't be asked with any of it, just skip to that last bit. Probably the last 5 minutes. It's up to
Probably-
you guys, but
Good idea.
just
Yeah.
just stick with us anyway. So starting off with Chairman Fathead, we will go off. I hate saying his name. The fact that he is back involved with our sport is a disgrace. We have mentioned it many a times, but he is now. They couldn't put him as chairman of the RFL because of his affiliation with Bradford, I believe.
Yeah.
Basically, being a part owner, former chairman of Bradford. So they made him chairman of Rugby League Commercial. And now it's come out this week with the latest reports that he will be head of the RFL. Just they won't name him chairman, they'll make up a new position. Is this the most RFL thing I think we've ever done?
It's like when you make somebody redundant and you can't have the same title legally. So you can't say, oh,
Right.
it's a little bit like this is why when they've got like in football when they have managers that are sacked, if
Yeah.
they sack them, the next person that comes in is either the caretaking manager or they're a head coach because they can't. They've already got a manager
Oh,
that's on contract. So if you look at it, sometimes they're replaced by having a head coach or first team coach or interim coach. So they
that
give them a
makes
different title when
sense.
they've got rid of somebody
I never
because
even noticed that.
you can't. You can't give some legally. You can't give somebody the same title if you've made them redundant, for example. Because what you're saying, if you make them redundant, is you don't need that job. Not we don't need that person. So
Mm.
it's a similar thing. So this one, I think there's rules. There was rules around Sport England saying that they can't be chair of a governing body if they've got affiliation with clubs. And what they've
Yeah.
done is they've slid him in the back door, haven't they? So
Oh, I mean, they can't really slide him in.
no, they've
Not with
wheeled
his
him in the
size.
back door, haven't they? They've
They've stuck
rolled
him
him
in
in.
wheelbarrow. They've put him
Yeah,
through the double French doors.
big wheelbarrow. So they've like so they've it's one of them four wheelers. So, so he's got so he's got
They've stuck
so
him on a
they've
mobility scooter. He's
exactly that. So they've rolled him in the back door, right? And they've said, well, we can't make you the chair of the RFL, but we can make you chair of this other body, which basically, let's be honest, no one's really ever heard of before the last 2 weeks.
well, it was the bridging
This,
gap between. It was the merged Super League
yeah,
and RFL that ended up just becoming a third body. That
yeah.
Rodri Jones, I thought, was something
the
to do with.
chair
He was
of
the only
that.
one you heard of.
Yeah. So they've obviously done something along those lines, and then they've said, right, okay, well, we've found a way now to get him in to be in charge again. It's it's immoral at best.
At best.
At
Gee, it's
best.
just immoral in general. Like, I just don't know. All the outside, right? We're going to use that phrase again that Mike Rush and everyone at St. Helens use. The outside noise of
That's people like
everyone.
us. That's fans. He means, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fans. That's the main contributors to the sport,
yeah,
and a small sport of that. So let's alienate them even more, essentially,
yeah.
by calling them outside noise.
But
So
please
the
come and spend
outside
your money.
noise.
Please come and spend your money in our shop when you come to the ground. By the way, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but the outside noise of the RFL is us, and it's all, I'd say 90% of it that you see online and that you go to grounds is negative about this appointment. No one wants it, but yet apparently 11 out of the 12 have gone, yeah, in you go.
But then you hear things, don't you? Like you know, oh, he lives rugby league. Although Degsy's comments that like he lives, breathes, and eats rugby league, I thought were quite comical this week.
Oh, mate, I wet myself when you mentioned that.
Is that
Oh,
so?
of course he eats it. He'll eat
Yeah,
anything.
from the inside. Yeah. Anyway, so
A buffet of rugby league.
but then they say, but then what they say then is they say to get him in, they'll go, well, no, no, you're wrong. This is about somebody that can steady the ship, knows knows how to navigate the waters, and they come out with all these sort of phrases, don't they? Because he's been in the job before, right?
Yeah,
But to me, he's like he's like the captain of the Titanic, isn't he? You're not going to
yeah.
give him another job with another cruise liner, are you? Like,
No.
12, 3 years after they've got rid of him for gross negligence for sinking the Titanic, which is effectively what he's done, isn't it? He sunk the Titanic, and then they go on, then have another go. Here's another cruise liner to have a go at.
Yeah, go on. Here's the Royal Caribbean.
Exactly,
It's like
exactly.
what was that one? That's the Costa Concordia. It's like that's the ship
Honestly,
that the RFL currently is. It's stranded with no engine, no nothing, and it's
mm,
just sat there
yeah,
out in the waters, and everyone's like, "Oh, what should we do here? Who do we give it to? Oh, yeah, the guy that crashed it. Oh, we'll
mm.
we'll, we'll give him
But
another license. We'll give him another go."
not only is it sat there, Johnny, it's sat there with a leak in it, out in the middle of the sea, and they're then trying to get rid of the leak with a bucket and
Yeah.
throwing the water over the side with a bucket. That's what they're doing.
So yeah, so all this is one step away from whistling a load of turtles, sea turtles, and stepping on them to hopefully whisk them away. Like
Mm.
that's the miracle that we're waiting for that Nigel Wood is going to bring. It's not going to happen, is it? And the
Well,
thing is, go on.
well, who's he? Who is he? Who is he protecting? Is it the who is he protecting? Is it the game or the club? And it's not. I won't even say the clubs because it's the club's owners, isn't it?
Who are the club's owners out for? It's not
Themselves.
who's Nigel out for. Who's the club owners out for? Because they voted him in. They're
Themselves.
they're
It's
in
not the
for
game.
self-preservation and self-interest. It's
It's
no
not.
one.
It's not the game. It's not people like me and
and,
you.
and like you said, they'll utter these sentences like, "Oh, he lives, breathes rugby league."
Mm.
Like, I'm not messing, man. Everyone involved in the sport lives and breathes rugby league. We speak. Whenever I ring you up halfway across the world, what do we talk about? We talk about rugby league. It's the
For an
first topic
hour.
of conversation. It's the first topic of the community, of the cultures, of the people in that country and in the
Mm.
in the world of rugby league.
Yeah.
What absolute arrogant fuckers you are. There's
Yeah.
no other word for you
No,
because
I
you
agree.
can't stand there and utter these words and sentences to people who feel the exact same and dismiss their opinion for anything. Yes, you're pumping millions into the sport. Thank you. I appreciate that. However, your interest is self-preservation of your losses you're currently making because of a snowball that he pushed down the hill that is now too big for the sport to cater for.
Mm. Let's be honest, right? I'm trying to think about other sports and things here as well. If you're an owner of a sport, of a club, most of the time, I would think over 90% of the time in
You
professional
lose money.
sports, you lose money, right?
It's a
It's a
toy.
labor. Yeah, it's a toy. It's a labor of love. It's a passion. It's a hobby. It's not. In most cases, it is not a money making exercise for that individual, for that club to make money. Now, as an
Huh?
individual, you might make money because you will draw out of that money,
Yeah,
and they will draw out of
Glazer's
that. They will
perfect
draw out
example.
dividends and wages and all sorts of stuff. Yeah, but it's it's not a money making exercise to own a sports club. A very, very few and far between successful models.
Minimal. I
And
don't even think you could name five.
no, and in a sport like ours, when you looked at the losses that were made by all Super League clubs, there's none. There isn't any that are making money continuously year after year.
Absolutely not. There was maybe five pre-COVID potentially. I think there was maybe Hull FC and Saints. I
Yeah,
think 1 year, but that was 1 year out of however many after. Like you just speak about it, and it's a toy. It's a leisurely product. It's basically a worker getting a working class wage. His passion is golf. He will
yeah,
spend he will spend a 20th of his wage on a membership fee, and he will every couple of years buy expensive clubs because he saves up for it and he's gone
yeah,
and done it.
yeah,
That is effectively what we are doing with these multimillionaires.
yeah.
It is a passion project, it is a love. This is why you're doing it. If you do not want that, then you sell up and hopefully find someone else, which Degsy has tried multiple times. Which the fella at Cork, no, not Corkill, from Hull KR, what's his name? The chairman there, he
Hudgel,
had it up for sale
Hudgel.
for year. Hudgel, he had it up for sale for near on 10 years when he
Mm,
took over. It was only a change of business model where he ended up going, you know what, I'll actually get more investors involved, and it's not just heavily me. Got more
yeah.
investors involved, and they're spending left, right, and centre. So it is a passion project, and if you're an owner and you have the naivety to have a go and call it outside noise, call it, to say Nigel Wood is more of a fan about the sport than anyone else, then I'm sorry, it's a joke. And then we go into like even looking at his big plans. What are his big plans? Because the only things that are coming out of it and this big meeting, and the only thing that we've seen over the last, say, 5 years is they don't want the French teams there.
Mm,
Is publicly, we spoke about it on, I think, 2 episodes ago,
yeah.
where everything they've seemed to have done is just the goalposts were here, they were normal sized, and they've gone, right, take your conversion in front of the sticks, we want you in 2007. And then they've gone, as time's gone on, and, TV deals haven't worked out in France, they haven't got any, they haven't contributed a lot of money because basically the RFL have been lazy and not bothered to try and get
Mm,
them TV deals in these other countries. The goalposts are then, all right, okay, well, what we'll do is we'll just move them over here and make it a little bit harder for you to kick the conversion. Catalan went, okay, we'll just throw more money into it. Off they go, throw more money into it, pump in, invest resources into the south of France, which is what they're meant to do. I mean, you look at the
mhm,
French game; it's grown exponentially since their induction. They
yeah.
go on and keep going. Every positive step they make, the RFL go, actually, we're going to move a little bit further out wide. We're going to wait and we're going to see, are you still fighting? I tell you what we'll do, we'll make you pay everyone's travel fares no matter what. So there was a lot of clubs that basically, right, you're still going to remain with us? Okay, well, I know you're already 1 million, 2 million in the hole before a ball's kicked. what we'll do is we'll move them even further out wide, and you got to pay 3-4 million a year in
Mm,
the hole before anything's kicked off. And Bernard Gouache and Toulouse have gone, all right then, we're here to stay, we're stubborn.
mm,
And yet now it seems like the goalposts are going to go so far wide, they'll be off the M62 and they'll be gone. And it's looking, all the noise is coming that they do not want
mm.
French
And
teams in.
and if you did that, those sort of sanctions with any other club over here, for example, or we don't really fancy going
Why
all the
don't
way
Hull
to
pay?
Hull. We don't really fancy going all the way to Hull, so you can pay everyone. We won't have a team. We won't have a league.
No. Why
And
don't
why
you pay?
set it
Why don't
up in
you
the
pay,
first place?
Cass? Why don't you
Well,
pay?
why set it up in the first place as Super League Europe?
Because it's just absolute bollocks. They didn't
Because
have that vision.
it's not Super League Europe. No matter what we do, we never get away from Super League M62, do we?
No. We tried to. We introduced Paris Saint-Germain. That failed. And when it did, what did we do?
Yeah.
We introduced another
Um, we,
M62 team.
we've had teams
We had
like
Gateshead,
Crusaders.
Crusaders, Welsh team.
Yeah,
Lasted
we had
4 years.
North and South for Crusaders.
Yeah,
They
we
were
did.
they were based
We had
both North
Celtic
and South Wales,
Crusaders.
Celtic
Tried
Crusaders, and
both.
then Crusade because they played down Bridgend way, didn't they? And
Then they played Wrexham.
then they
They
played at
played at
Wrexham.
Wrexham, didn't they?
Mm, that's right. And
And
so
that was
yeah,
another Nigel Wood failure.
yeah, yeah, which we've
All
talked
these
before
all
about.
these things are failures. Celtic Crusaders failure. Toronto ended up failing, granted because of COVID, etc. That story is all over the place. You had Paris Saint-Germain failed, which granted wasn't a Nigel Wood thing, but you know, you had the Gateshead merger, which I think was 2001 they merged, didn't they?
Yeah,
With Hull FC, which was the
yeah.
start of
There was a
Nigel
few
Wood's
then at that
tenure.
time, weren't there? Huddersfield, Sheffield, things like that, wasn't there? Yeah.
So like
I tell you what,
you just
interestingly though,
reel off what go on.
just slightly off topic, talk about Toronto. On our pod a couple of weeks ago, when we were looking at Rugby League Shirt Day that's just been,
Yeah.
we had Bob Bezic on the pod,
Yeah.
and we said to Bob, "Which shirt will you be wearing?" And he went, "My Toronto shirt." He went, "That was the best time of my career." He said,
Hmm.
he said the atmosphere at the games, Lamport Stadium. He said just the togetherness. He says and the way that the community embraced the game. He went was absolutely magnificent and the best time I've ever had in my career. And that was from one of the players.
We had nearly 10,000 there for a championship playoff final.
Yeah,
Near and where have they gone? They've just gone into the dust
yeah. It's a shame.
because basically the clubs voted for their own self-interest. They had new owners that took over from the old owner in Argyle. They took
Mm,
over and they said to the Super League clubs, "We will pay everyone's wages. We all we want is every year we want a bit of central funding from yous. But other than that, we're covering everyone's wages, including
mm,
Sonny Bill, who was on the reported 1 million a season. So they were willing to pay all the wages of the players so the players could
mm.
pay bills, pay mortgages, and everything. What did the clubs do? Because of Degsy, Degsy said, I'll only take 500,000. You guys can have the 100 and odd that they would take
Mm.
each and split it. He bribed his way into Super League in
Yeah, of
2021.
course. Yeah, of
This
course.
is the man that we're then putting our interest in and self-interest when in 2018 he refused to pay his players.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
is the man that we are talking about that is preaching to the choirs. How dare
mm,
you, Derek Beaumont?
mm,
How dare you?
yeah.
And it just
And then
annoys me because yes, you've changed your mindset. I praise you. I praise you for everything you're doing at the minute by pumping your money in and finally putting the game forward. But
yeah,
my God, you have a short memory.
and then you think, okay, well, we're going to go now. Seemingly, we're going to go to 14 teams. There's been no news on that. They said they were going to vote on this again
At the end of the
soon
week, I believe,
at
isn't
the
it?
end of the week. Yeah, there
Friday?
was no decisions made at the beginning of the week, and they're going to vote on it at the end. And did they go to 14 teams in 26 or 27? If you're doing all this with Catalans now, and we've got a 12-team league, it doesn't give you much hope what's going to happen with 14, does it? Really?
No.
I mean, in theory, it's great because the big advantage, isn't it, with the 14 team is getting rid of the loop fixtures. And you're home and away,
Hugely.
plus a magic weekend, easy.
And
27
if
games, that's it. It's perfect.
if you
Perfect.
want 27 games, we have to go to 14 teams,
Hmm.
or we cut the fixtures down
Yeah. Yeah. Or they
because
do
I'm fed up
something
with
with the
this.
Challenge Cup where you have groups or whatever it may be at the beginning of
Yeah,
it, so you get your fixture, which isn't ideal. I don't agree with that either because it's a
but that
knockout
was
cup.
what
You don't start
IMG
messing with that.
suggested to get rid
But
of loot fixtures, and they knocked it back.
yeah,
That
because and
IMG is
that's
a different story that we'll get onto in a minute.
yeah. So if you're talking 14 teams, then straight away, despite and I thought they brought a lot of vigor. I thought they brought a lot of colour to the game. I thought they had a great goal last time in Toulouse when they were in Super League.
He
They've
was an
got no chance,
amazing.
have they? They've
No,
got no chance, now, have they? Which,
no,
when you
they
talk
are the
about
best. They are the
magic,
best suited club to come up. They are the best suited club
of course they are.
commercially, revenue
Yep,
wise, everything because they can finally market the game
yep.
in France by going, "You've got two French teams in. Come on."
And when you talk about Toulouse as a club, and you talk about Magic Weekend, well, you've got a ready-made game there straight away, haven't you? And that last time they were in
Rivals
the
round.
French
Why
derby, the
rivals
Toulouse
round?
yeah, the
Yeah,
Toulouse Catalan game last time they were in captured imagination,
yeah.
and
It
I
was
think that is perfect, but it doesn't suit the current club's owner's agenda, so that's out. It's
no.
gone.
And then it's a case of we spoke about it earlier. Who's going to replace them? And I think we
Yeah,
all know one of the teams that's going to replace them, despite the fact that they aren't commercially viable. All because, by the way, 90% of this is because in the big 2025, we have this topic come up. Away fans. This is why they don't want the French teams in, because the French teams don't travel.
yeah,
Yet, it was Saints Leeds a few weeks ago, and I was watching on the telly. Leeds probably bought 200,
yeah,
maybe 300 at most,
yeah.
right?
And that's when they're doing well.
And that was when they were third in the
Le-
league. So
Leeds'
how?
away travel is poor for a team every week for a team the size of Leeds.
But if you could get a TV deal by actually working hard to get it and not just go up to a couple of French media outlets and send an email, by actually working and meeting with these people, you could get more revenue over a TV deal of getting utilizing the Sky current broadcasting. Oh, look, we're already broadcasting every game live. Why don't you give a contribution of money to Sky and we'll pool this all together so they pay Sky and Sky via that pay the RFL. So therefore they're getting more money and a bigger TV deal that they can commercialize. Why is this so hard to even comprehend? They can just tap into the streams that are currently being utilized by Sky, put on
Mm.
French commentary if they have to from a studio, or if not, just put French subtitles on.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's not hard to do and think of these
no,
things, and over time that deal will be more secure because eyes on screen financially is more money than bums on seats long
of
term
course it is. Yeah, I mean, I look at some of the
and
TV
stable.
stuff. I look at some of the TV stuff now, and it's like the difference here between watching the streaming things. If you look at Super League Plus versus Watch NRL, it's
Wank.
just
It's night
unbelievable.
and day.
I can
It's
watch
night and
every
day.
game on Watch NRL. I can watch every repeat. I can watch every game. I can watch every women's game. I can watch State of Origin. I can watch Sunday Night with Matty Johns. I can watch all that sort of stuff as a Watch NRL product on there. The Super League Plus, you have to then go on and search games that what's on and what replays are on, and
It
there's
should
hardly any.
automatically be up. It should automatically be the first thing you see is live now.
Exactly that.
Watch
And I'm paying
replays
more.
below.
I don't know why I'm
Highlights.
paying it, but I'm paying more for Super League Plus than I am for Watch NRL.
Why you just cancel the subscription, Andy?
Oh no no no! All that happened was last. No, I tell you what happened last year. Right, I tell you what, I'm at the end of it because I tell you what happened last year. There was a big fuss. This is last season. There was a big fuss about what games can you get on live and what games. And up to a certain round, I think it was around about round 20, they were all on
13,
Sky.
wasn't it?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden they weren't. So what happened was like to see the other games, I ended up
You were
buying
panicking.
Super League Plus, yeah, to watch the games. So what happened was we paid about £150 to watch the rest of the season. 2 days after I paid it, they've reduced it to £50. So I
And
complained
and you
about it
technically
and
didn't
just
even need it.
no, I was like complained about it. Anyway, what they did was they extended the subscription. They didn't give me the money back, but they extended the subscription, so I'm still
So
watching
you
it.
had it till now.
Yeah,
So you had it for
that's why
12 months rather than a few
than the
games.
rest of the season. Yeah, so it did, so that's what they did. But it was like, but even now I'm like, I rarely watch it because there's no point in watching it. There's nothing. There's nothing on it that there's nothing on it that has any value. Whereas,
No. And
like I said, watch NRL. You can watch. It's not just a live game, and you can watch the replay. Especially for us here. So let's take Sunday games where you are. A lot of the games
hmm
kick off earlier for
Yeah,
you, don't
yeah,
they, on a
like
Sunday?
7 a.m. or
So here
whatever
they're
for
like
you.
5 a.m., 7 a.m.
Yeah.
on a Sunday, which means that on a Sunday at work I can go into work and I can put them on and I can avoid the scores and I can watch them as live on Sunday morning at work.
Yeah.
Whereas the Super League Plus, it's an absolute joke.
Yeah. And I've said it to you like many a time on the phone call and those listening. Like in Australia, it is easier for me to watch Super League games than it is for English people to watch Super League games. And they're
Mm,
all live on Sky because they have a
mm.
stupid thing called Sky Sports Plus, which is a bigger waste of time than anything.
It's terrible
It's
because
awful, and
well here
I
you have
just
to
don't get
root
it.
you have to root through Sky Sports Plus to watch games while they've got a repeat from 2023 Leeds versus Salford or something on the main channels.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
I
You've
don't
got
get
a
that.
live match
Why'd
on
you
there,
do that?
hidden behind the main broadcast platform, and you're like, oh, I'll watch Super League. Oh no, I won't. It's only a repeat from 2023, and it's Salford. It's Salford versus Leeds from 23. No.
The
It's
amount of
live. No, I can't find it.
the amount of
It's
frustration I
unbelievable.
had because I had the Sky Go app that I was
Mm.
using a VPN for because my mum and dad have that, and Sky Go app. I had it on had it on the stick like that, trying to get trying to get the Saints game on earlier in the year, and I was like, why is it showing Hulk AR and such a person from the night
Um,
before? I
no.
was like, what's going on here? And then my dad was like, "Oh, it's on Sky Sports Plus." Now I
Yeah.
couldn't get access to Sky Sports Plus on my Sky Go
Yeah.
app,
I'm the
so,
same. Yeah. I'm the same. Yeah.
so I couldn't watch it.
Which was
That's
the
why I
other
ended up.
reason. Which that was the other reason I bought Super League Plus. Yeah.
So I ended up at like texting my mate who works for Fox. He does all the stats for the Super League games, so he's on every night shift because they do their stats differently over in Australia. So the stats that pop up here are the same, but when it goes to on the Fox website, it's all in the Australian format. So anyway, he did a lot of that on the he does a lot of that overnight, and I was like, oh, mate, I can't like watch any Saints games because the Sky Sports is rubbish. And he was like, oh, just get Foxtel or KO or whatever the thing is. I was like, why? What's that? He was like, well, it's basically Fox Sports. It's like the app on the TV. You went do that, and yeah, and you can watch it on the main channels. I went, what? Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. Even if there's a clash or anything, it'll be on one channel or it'll be on the next. Because
Mm.
it's at the end of the day, it's just a random time in the day. It's like 5 a.m. sometimes if it's an 8 p.m. kickoff or 2 in the morning, or if it's a Sunday early kickoff, it's like midnight. So it's one of them. And I was like, what? I was like, how's it easier for me to watch it over here? It's
Yeah.
mental.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're on about 14 teams there, weren't we? Before, if they do go to 14 teams, then and Toulouse aren't in the reckoning, who's coming up then?
But we know
Who's
one. Whether they
um?
deserve it on merit, we know one.
No, they don't deserve it. No, we're talking about Bradford, aren't we?
Yeah,
They don't. No,
They
they don't
don't
deserve
deserve
it.
it.
They,
But we
think
know they'll be there.
they've not been in Super League since 2014.
It's over,
Right?
yeah, over 10 years, 11 years.
Yeah. So they left Super League 2014, I think. But they still live on the golden era, don't they? Of what 97 to 03 or whatever it was. That sort of era.
Yeah.
They still live on that, right? The ground hasn't changed since then.
Ground hasn't changed since
They,
1950, whatever.
no, in the meantime, you've had
The
they've
Wembley of
had
the North.
numerous owners, all of which have been about as used as Salford's. They've had you've had Jamie Peacock selling off shirts and medals to keep him afloat. They've had all sorts of these problems. Not once the nearest they came back to actually getting on merit back in Super League, I think, was the year after I think it was 2014 or 2015, and they ended up in the £1 million game. I think they ended up in the
Yeah.
first one against Wakey, and they lost
Yeah, and they
against
lost.
Wakefield in the first £1 million game. That is the closest they've ever come on merit to getting back in Super League. So they've barely been afloat.
And if you go off the other criteria, and by that I mean, like, if we're not going off performance merit, because we'll talk about other clubs, I'm sure, what have they brought off the field in this year's? What have they done to improve off the field, genuinely,
Nothing.
other than
It's been a
pauper plasma
disaster.
screen TV
But they've
and a
done nothing
caravan
because,
derby?
well, that's it. The crowd, the ground's crumbling. So they've done nothing to the ground. The ground's been crumbling for years. The ground
It's been
looks the
jet
same.
washed once.
Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah. But the ground's been crumbling since the 1980s, right? They haven't done anything. They haven't done anything to the ground. They've brought nothing off the field in terms of academy structures, in terms of women's teams, community stuff. You don't hear anything like that like you do with some of the other teams that we'll probably
We'll
mention,
get
like
on to.
York, for example.
Yeah.
So if Nigel Wood wasn't chair of Bradford, own Bradford, whatever way you want to put it, if Nigel Wood did not have any connection whatsoever with Bradford Bulls, they would not be in this conversation one bit. They'd be in the conversation to go up to Super League probably about as much as
Widnes.
Widnes, Sheffield.
I think Sheffield have a stronger case off field.
Yeah, they actually put a
At
bid
least
in,
they've got
didn't
a
they, a couple
decent
of years
ground,
ago, didn't
and
they? They did put a bid in
yeah,
when they were after bids, didn't they? Widnes, probably a good one, probably a good comparison, because Widnes were there, and you could argue. I've always argued that Widnes should be there with with the catchment and the history and everything that they've got. Widnes should be far
always
better than
produce
they are.
players.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're probably right on that. That's probably a good comparison. But Widnes aren't talked about as going into Super League.
No,
Widnes aren't in
because
this
they don't
equation
deserve it.
for going up. They whack their
Because they
miles off.
don't deserve it.
Exactly.
They've,
So
they've still got
if
money
you take
issues.
if you take Nigel Wood out of it, Bradford nowhere to be seen in this equation.
No.
And
Whereas
that is just not acceptable from a
the one that should
sports
be
point
there.
of view.
Yeah, absolutely. And the one that should be there, that's earned it both on merit, what they've got off the ground, out off the field, what they've got in terms of population size, catchment
Mm.
area, marketability, won't be a shoe-in because they don't bring away fans in Toulouse.
Mm.
That is the team that should be there when Salford drop out. If Salford drop out, that's the one that should be there if it goes to 14 teams, even if Salford stay in. That's the one that should be absolutely shoehorned in the next one up. They are
So yeah,
fundamentally the strongest
yeah.
on and off
So
field.
even when you talk about that, like you talk about away fans there, realistically, how many are Bradford bringing to, like, in their current status? How many are Bradford bringing? A couple of hundred.
Not
So
many.
what are they? So what are they giving? So they come to Saints, they bring a couple of hundred.
Out.
What are they giving?
But
Nothing.
they may buy
Right.
about 50 pies or something.
Right. So
50
my
pints.
point there is, if you bring Toulouse in, knowing that there's going to be no away fans, that is your night, isn't it? That is your kids for a quid night. That is your free tickets to all local schools.
That is your
That's
grow
your
the
free
game
tickets
night.
to all community clubs. They will buy in the ground. You'd probably make more money than you would off bringing off Bradford.
100% you
And
would.
what you've done, then you've got a chance then to bring those people in for the following home games, etc., etc.
And get the new ones, get
You
the
make
new generation coming.
you make that your real night with music.
And
With the
you'll have
stage
two of them. You'll have two of them because you'll
with the
have
stage
Catalan.
that you can only use on non-match days. You could perhaps use it on a match day. Like you could bring that in. You could have all sorts of games fun. You could have a massive festival before the game and everything. You make that your real sort of community foundation game because you have to make it work.
And them
Whereas
games,
you bring Bradford in
whenever they're
and
there,
it's
yeah,
another lazy offering like it is every other week.
exactly. And like you said, the make it a family fun day, man. But make it one of them, and always have. If you're playing a French team and they're away, it's always a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff. Do you know
Yeah,
why? Because there'll be no football on the telly because of the ban that's in
yeah,
place. You
yeah,
can really market it. You can have a feel-good atmosphere. You can have kids everywhere, and it plays to the idea of that it's a family sport and that you can go with that. And you'll have two of them a year because you'll have
yeah,
them two. If we get London in, you'll probably have three of them, and you can
yeah,
really, really show the game off for what we think and know it's
yeah,
worth. And it should
yeah.
always be a Saturday or a Sunday,
Saturday or a
3 p.m.
Sunday,
or 12:30 kickoff on a Sunday, and make it a
exactly
family
that.
fun day. And you can really do it. But like everything in rugby league, got no imagination, and it's just go back to basics
Yeah.
as always. So yeah,
It, no, it's just bizarre. It's ridiculous. Who are your other contenders then, Johnny? Are we assuming
York
at this point?
obviously.
Well, are we assuming that Salford are gone? Are we assuming that there's three teams coming up?
I'd assume there's three teams coming up. Whether in 2026 or 2027, I think Salford will be gone at the end of the
Yeah.
season. I don't think they deserve to be in the league. I think we spoke about it a couple of podcasts ago, they brought the game into disrepute, which is a shame because the fans haven't, the players haven't, the owners have. It's
Mm.
been an absolute fundamental disaster. They've had to rely on an owner that sold the club to these new owners to bail them out and pay the wages earlier in the year, apparently, in Paul King, who's now back at some part of the club because he's still got his house or something on the line, according to a report earlier this year, apparently. It's been an absolute shambles, and if it's within 2 years and they get new owners, they may come back up when it
Mm.
goes to 14 teams, but I think next season they'll definitely be gone. And it should be Toulouse coming up, but I think you're looking at the four clubs I think are in contention are Bradford because of the obvious um what's it called where it's conflict of interest. Bradford because of that. I think you'll have York because of what they're doing off the field and absolutely tremendous, which I should be actually as an exclusive. I should be interviewing the York owner at some point in the near future, so look out for
Excellent.
that one,
Yeah.
which would be good to get an insight um, on the way they're looking forward and planning it. Um, and Oldham, I think, are in contention because of the way they're spending, the way everything seems to be moving forward with them.
Yeah.
And London are the fourth one in contention, I think.
Let's just go on to. I agree about York, and I think
They're building a community.
there's a romantic element to York as well from people that it's like York's a lovely place and it's a nice place to
It's
visit
amazing.
and all that sort of stuff. If it was like there's a romantic element there with it,
You
but
can't
what they're
market
building
Dewsbury.
is great. Yeah, that's it. So it's like that. But why London?
Why London? Because you have to have the capital.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing
You have
with
to
you.
have yeah, yeah, I know. You
I'm
have
not.
to have
I'm
the
just
capital
saying. We've
represented.
been
It's
saying
the
for the
biggest
last
media market in
45. We've
Europe.
been saying for the last 45 years that the league needs a strong London, and we need
But
London. We've been saying that for 45 years now, and yet
yeah,
at this point, 45 years in, they're still not in.
But they are also one of the longest serving Super League clubs.
Yeah, yeah,
Outrank Bradford without
yeah,
a shadow of a doubt. So
yeah.
they are one of the longest serving Super League clubs. They have a catchment area that is absolutely huge. They never properly marketed. They attempted it by changing and changing the name to London Broncos, but never properly marketed to the Australians down there. Um, and a lot of Australians I met at the Rugby League World Cup didn't even know about the London Broncos that I
Mm,
was speaking to and I was telling them about, and they went, "Oh, that lived down in London that came up for the World Cup
mm,
final." Um, they were doing so much when they had Sports England's money and funding for the grassroots down in the south. They were the figureheads.
mm. Yeah,
You've got a lot of good things that they have done in the past that we probably haven't given them enough resources to fulfill. And I
yeah.
think we have to have that. It was basically relying on
I
the
think.
previous owner
Mm.
to pump money in.
I think that strangely enough, I think that the time they've been the strongest was actually the last time they were in before they left Super League. I think they'd found a real home at Plough Lane at Wimbledon. The
I
crowds were
think
good.
they still will as
You know,
well because
they
they've
were
got that
building
agreement for
something
the
really
next
good
six
there. I
years.
thought as well. You know, I thought that was
Yeah.
probably their strongest, rather than when they were at like Harlequins and Fulham and Brentford and Charlton and things like this on the move. I thought they'd actually found a really decent base there as well,
That was one thing, they
which
never
is
had
good.
a home.
No, and that's the thing. And I'm not disagreeing with you about London. I'm just saying, where are they in the bigger picture about where do people? So, and I don't disagree with you. It's just a question about where they are as a club about coming into Super League, not just because they're in London.
Yeah. And I also, like I said to you though, I'm thinking more from their heads, which is why I put Oldham probably ahead of London, which I think it shouldn't be. The two clubs that should definitely be there, in my opinion, are London and Toulouse, and then
Mm.
add in York. They would be my dream three,
Yeah,
but that's not going to happen. What about yourself?
no. Oldham are
Who?
massive. I've got a bit of a soft spot. I used to work in Oldham. Like I knew the I used to go to watershed quite often, um, and they're a club that, like other clubs, they've suffered from this. What was it called? Framing the future, wasn't it? Years ago, they had that
Yes,
that
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
And Salford, I think, were the same when they left the Willows, or they were forced to leave the Willows as part of this framing thing.
yeah.
It was the death knell for these clubs. Oldham were the same. I think you can put Halifax in that from the Shea. These sort of clubs, and that was their community, and they really struggled once they left these grounds, which is why there's been a lot of contention, I think, over Castleford, who have never
Hmm.
had to leave the jungle, and they've just sort of should we say redeveloped in
No,
inverted commas.
they put padded
Put some
seats in a decrepit
There you go.
stand.
There you go. So I think there's stuff like that. Now Oldham are one of those that really suffered for them, because then they moved into the football ground, and I was working at Oldham Council at the time, and they got shafted by the football club
Yeah,
big time, and they spent years as nomads, just wandering around places like Ashton United, non-league grounds like Stalybridge Celtic. They played
yeah.
over in they played over near Swinton for a while at Broughton,
Wow.
and it's like,
So
come on,
nowhere
and
near where they were from.
no, they had a ground in a really sort of what I would call a well, it's just a scumbag area. It's just like they had a in Limeside, they had a little ground there that was, you know I remember going to a friendly there when they played there, and I'm not kidding, mate. Every 5 minutes it would come on the tannoy. Every 5 minutes, would the owner of such a car please return to their vehicle? Like, it just had the windows smashed in it and everything. Honestly, every 5 minutes on this Friday night friendly, and I only went because I lived not too far away, and I went, and in fact, I tell you, who was playing that night, Josh Perry,
Oh,
and it
really?
was and it was in January, and it was like he wasn't keen, shall we say that? He wasn't keen on a January night playing a first team friendly or reserve friendly in Oldham. He wasn't
Yeah.
he wasn't that bothered. Yeah, he wasn't keen like that. Anyway, But they suffered with having that, and they were shafted by the football club. The good news for them is now they've got that. They're back at Boundary Park. They've got a
Owned by the
home now.
same people.
They've got a home now. They've got good people involved with real rugby league backgrounds. People like Mike Ford, and they've
Yeah.
got real. They've built and
Was
they've got
Mike
Sean
Ford the
Long
one that
as
went from Featherstone?
no. Mike Ford is the player. He played for Oldham, then he played for Wigan, scrum half, and then he went to rugby union, and he was on the England
Oh,
coaching
yeah,
staff for
yeah.
quite a while. Half, and he was on the England rugby union coaching staff for quite a while. But
Oh, yeah, he
he's an
is.
Oldham lad, and he's like director of rugby or
He's
whatever his title
apparently
is.
currently head coach of the Belgian rugby union team. Apparently,
Is he really?
apparently,
Well,
yeah. According to
he's
Wikipedia, by the way.
all
Let me
right.
just.
Well,
I've not done extensive research on that.
well, he's an Oldham lad and he
Right.
you've got Sean Long as head coach. The players that they've brought in over the last couple of years, I'm thinking people like Jordan Turner, for example, that sort of
Captain.
Super League quality players, that have had a really good, and they're building and building and building, and they're building definitely with a view to Super League. And when you look at the Championship now, they're right up there, and there's 2 points separating 4 teams. It's brilliant.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
you look
another
at even.
which is another travesty of a TV deal, because a couple of years ago we used to get the Championship every Monday night on
Oh,
Premier
right.
Sports. Now there's no
So,
TV deal for the
so
Championship.
this is what annoyed me because they had many offers from it,
Mm,
but because it was only like 100 grand that they were being offered for one game a week or something, the
mm,
RFL apparently turned it down because it wasn't enough. Surely any games is better than
yeah.
nothing. Because I remember an article, I think 2 years ago, when they lost that Premier Sports, it was up for tenure, and they went, "Oh, we haven't had one adequate enough," and it was like 100 grand a year, and they turned it down. I'm like, what? Like, stick it on.
But what you're doing there is showcasing the game again. And if you're
Exactly. And
showcasing
then
the
you go
game,
in, look at
you
how
get a
good.
chance to build a bigger deal, don't you? And you could say, I'll tell you what, we'll do 100 grand, but we're only going to do that for a year because we haven't had anything else, so we're going to give you 12 months, or we're going to give you 2 years, or
Yeah.
whatever. And that gives us
And if
chance
your
then
viewing
to
figures are good, we'll renegotiate or we'll do
exactly.
that.
So
But they
so
never
you do a
even gave it a
year.
chance.
So it's like a contract with a player, isn't it? You do a year with an option. And the option's in our
Hmm.
favour to say, if you get this many viewing figures, then the option's in our favour and you're going to pay X amount next year.
Yeah. I remember that coming out because I think it was Aaron Bower's article. It was about 3 years ago. I'll have to
Mm,
Google that. But
yeah.
again, and it's a great point to move on to. So we're talking about TV deals there. And
Sorry, just on that, Johnny.
sorry, go on.
I would say my 3. I agree with you about Toulouse, but I think it's unrealistic that they're ever going to get in now. But
Now
they would be
with
one of my 3.
Nigel.
Yeah, but taking them out, then I would go York, Oldham, London.
Yeah.
That's what I would
So
go on the
so basically
basis that
Bradford
Toulouse
aren't
have
in it.
got absolutely no chance whatsoever. So neither of us will
Yeah.
have Bradford because I don't think they don't bring a thing.
No.
They've got to prove
No.
themselves as a club, as an ownership, and on and off the field, which again brings you to IMG scores and things, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, actually, we were going to. We forgot to mention that, and that is one thing that was being discussed apparently in the meeting, just binning it off. So this 12-year plan that we had with IMG, 12-year structure, just bin it off now. 3 years in, pay them
You,
off,
but
more
you
money,
know,
more dividends.
yeah, right from day one, I've always said that to you that
But
it won't
I,
last.
I, I, I
I've
want.
always said that to you, mate. That
I
it won't
always
last.
knew they would probably get rid of it, and I said
Mm.
that to you. But I thought they'd at least give it a good shot. It's a 12-year
They
plan, and we're not even 3 years into it. And yet, what's the
they
point?
give it a
What's the
shot.
point?
Exactly, they give
Again,
it a
what is the
shot.
point?
But again, the owners and the selfishness of the clubs, they give it a shot until they get these consultants in. It's not the first time they've done it, and they give it a shot until they suggest something that they don't like. That'll be like, "Oh, actually, that might cost us a few grand, or that might limit our revenue a few grand." And then it's like, no, we don't want you anymore then, and that's it. And that's been the case with every consultant and every survey and everything they've ever done on this ilk, ever. And IMG will be no different.
It's history repeating itself,
Of course it is.
and
And
that's
in the
all.
meantime, the game
It
chews
honestly,
itself up from the inside, doesn't it?
being an English rugby league fan is like you've got a brick in your hand and you're smacking it against your head, and you're trying to and you're trying to speak to yourself to stop smacking your head with a brick, but you just can't do it, and eventually
You
you'll
just
be
can't do
dead.
it.
This is what
No.
it's like being a rugby league fan in England because
Yeah.
you, the RFL, can control yourself making bad decisions, and
Yeah.
yet you still continue to get the brick and pound it into your skull.
Yeah. It's honestly, and that's what we've done for year after year after year. There was a
Wait, go on, carry on.
I was just saying, over the years, if you think about from the start of Super League in '96, if you take it from that point, there's been a few occasions where we've had chances as a sport to capitalise on what's happening, and we've never ever
Sliding
capitalised on
doors
it.
moments,
Yeah,
and we
there's
just
been a
let
few
the
of them.
door
There's been
close.
a few where there's been a few of them. There's been great teams. There's been great seasons. There's been
Talk
great
about London. We had
moments.
Richard Branson in the sport.
Yeah, yeah. So there's been all these personalities. There's been these people, and it's like, well, come on then, like, come on, grab that. But we
Yeah,
don't.
take
And
it.
at the minute, what I don't see is one of those moments again.
No, I completely agree. I think that the nearest we had it was when we had Toulouse, was when we had Toronto, maybe
Mm,
in the comp. Was a
yeah,
sliding doors moment, and we decided to slam the door shut. Since then, not giving Toulouse maybe a couple of years like we did with Catalan, maybe another sliding doors moment. But now
yeah,
I can't even see another one coming into fruition because I don't see anywhere where commercially we'll get stronger with this
yeah,
administration and with the way we're going forward.
yeah. Even even to the point of things that the game could have really grabbed hold of. Things like last year and 2006, um, BBC Sports Personality Team of the Year.
Yeah,
Daniel Anderson, 2006, Coach of the Year.
yeah.
Saints wiped the board in 2006 at the BBC Awards.
They did change the rules the year after though,
Yeah, but
because it
what I'm
used to be
saying is,
texts,
but what a
and then it went,
chance!
no, we're going to a panel now. We're going to
But
a
what a
panel. We
chance!
can't have rugby
But
league winning.
but the fact is, they've got the award. What a
Yeah,
chance! Wigan last year, Team of the Year. What Team of the Year over everybody? Over
everyone.
Liverpool, over not PSG, but it's over Liverpool, over whoever won the rugby. I don't know who won Europe. I don't know who won Rugby Union's championship. I ain't got a clue. I'm not interested. But you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, I do.
as a sport, we are there, and
Yeah,
it's like after that day. You see a few things on Twitter from Wigan fans, don't you? What a team we are, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. The game didn't embrace it. The sport
no,
didn't
I
embrace
tell
it. The
you what.
governing body didn't embrace it.
I tell you what. Actually, the Rugby League World Cup, the last one, as much of a failure it was in terms financially, in terms of structure, in terms of all that, that final was sold out a week and a half before the final was taking place.
Yeah,
74,000 were in that stand. The majority of them didn't even come from the north, I reckon, because the amount of
yeah,
people that were around me in the ground were from
yeah,
London, Birmingham. There was a couple from Scotland that were sat behind me, and I was up in the gods. I was having a chat to them, and a lot of them didn't even know what they were playing. They thought they were watching rugby union. Why didn't we
yeah.
capitalise on that? And they thought it was a great game,
So,
as
so
in
will
like in
we?
terms of tries.
So will we capitalise on the Ashes then?
No, no
No.
bollocks. That'll be
And
another thing
again,
that'll go.
but but surely that is another sliding doors moment for the sport
Yeah.
because there hasn't been one. There hasn't been a series, a
And
three-game
we've let
series.
Moran run with it. A man that can actually organise a piss
Yeah,
up in a brewery. A man that
but
is one of the best music um, event organisers in the world. We've
yeah,
now got helping us, and I reckon we'll
but
still not capitalise on it in the next
but
time.
it, but it's caught the imagination of the rugby league public. Sold out games at Leeds and Everton. We're on the way. I mean, if you had to put a figure on the Wembley crowd now, I think we're going to
Over
definitely be in the
60.
50s, 60,000.
I reckon over 60s. Over
I
60s,
think
I
I
reckon.
think so as well. And that's like,
Because now it's supply and demand. If you want to go see
yeah,
Australia as a rugby league fan, you've
got
got to go.
got to go to
You've got
Wembley.
you've
Yeah,
got all the Aussies and Kiwis in and around London. You even just seeing England, just plaster that
yeah,
over the London Underground. They'll be like, "Oh, where can we
exactly
watch
that.
England
Yeah.
play?" That's what
But
we need to
will
do.
we, will we grab it? No. And it's like these are these moments that as a sport we cannot afford to lose. Not to
No,
lose, but to lose. Yeah.
we can't afford to lose, can we?
No, exactly.
Degsy and Co said.
they've already told us that. Yeah. So there you go, mate. Yeah.
So there you go. Well, I think that summarises the first point. We've lasted 55 minutes on one topic that we were done.
Amazing.
So,
Amazing.
but we've talked about TV deals, we've talked about ING, we've talked about the commercial side of it, but I want to talk about the current TV deal. And I know we spoke about the landscape beforehand and how the money's changed, how the sporting landscape's changed. So we don't want to focus on the money side of it. What I want to focus on is the fact that we've got all games live. Like I said, we're not utilizing it well enough, like we've said with the terms of Sky Sports Plus. We've lost BBC really because it's on the iPlayer. Who watches it on the iPlayer really, other than a rugby league fan that will support the team? So you pretty much lost it there. A few years ago, we had Channel 4 that were
Yep.
producing really, really well, that had their own
Yeah.
coverage, that was doing an absolute wonder. Had the likes of Adam Hills involved with the sport, who is a big brand ambassador. He was, the RFL, what's it called? The Mer, whatever the thing is. Um,
Yeah. The president of
the
the rugby league. Yeah.
president of the Rugby League. Um, had him involved in the sport. He's a legend over in Australia. He's a legend in England on the TV. We lost them. We've put it on BBC iPlayer, so we've undervalued the sport there in that. And we constantly have a battle with our own scheduling. At the start of the year, it was outlined that no games would clash, they would be more stagnated. And yet, for the last 8, 9 weeks, we've had multiple games clashing. How are you going to capitalise on viewing figures for the next
Mm.
TV deal by going, these are the figures we get per game? Look at
Mm.
this. If you're splitting the audience 50-50, 40-60, 30-70 between games, what are you doing?
Mm. Yeah. I mean, just before that, the most bizarre president we had for the RFL was Tony Adams, wasn't it?
This Claire Balding did stuff like
At
spoke about
least he
rugby
liked
league.
rugby league. Tony Adams had never even heard of it. Like that. Anyway, beside the point.
I mean, he did do the Challenge Cup draw once. Come on.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, brilliant. Anyway,
Do you reckon the FA have ever asked Rod Stewart to be their chair, their president, after that Challenge Cup draw? After that FA Cup draw?
there used to be a guy that was doing the FA Cup draw. He was the secretary, whatever he was of the FA. He was a guy called Graham Kelly, and he used to be on the draw every week. Every round. Anyway, Tony Adams did the draw. I remember this. Tony Adams did the draw for the FA Cup once. And they drew the first one out and he went number one. And whoever it was, it's such a bad. And then Tony Adams went number two. And the next match come up and it was number three. So the first three out was like that. And then Tony Adams went and he went, number four. No, it's not really. And that Graham Kelly went, don't do that. Like that. Brilliant. Anyway, TV. So even
What
this
are we up
week
to?
we've got two matches on Friday that clash at the same time this week. What's worse about this? So they say, "Oh, we're going to put every game on television." Yeah, but you want them at a time you can watch. Again, none of the RFL games clash.
No.
So and you
And they
can
have
watch
more
them all.
games.
Yeah, exactly. What's worse? Next week, is it next week or the week after? There's a split round next week.
Yes. Yeah.
which originally was supposed to be for the
Player
international
welfare,
break.
wasn't it? Oh,
Yeah, and it was
international
supposed
break.
to be
Yeah,
for
yeah.
international break. Then they couldn't get a game, so then they made it about player welfare. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was originally
Rebrand, PR.
yeah, it was supposed to be for international break, but we couldn't get a game. So they ended up with a split round over three, then made it about player welfare. So the two weeks that we've got, I can't remember which game it is, but on one of those with three games, two of them clash. There isn't even 6 games. There's 3 games. I can't
There's
remember
no
which game it
excuse for
is,
that.
but two of them clash.
There's no excuse.
No, that says it all.
The reason it was last year was they let Sky let the clubs decide when they wanted to play, and the reason was commercially via pints and pies sold. The Friday 8 p.m. kickoff was more commercially valuable to clubs, so that was the reason why they wanted Friday 8 o'clock kickoffs.
Right.
So does that summarise pretty much where the sport's at? That we're
Yeah.
prioritising pies and
Yeah.
pints and
And
peas? Then
and it's not been so much this year, but in the past, they've had days. We had fixture dates changed at a week's notice.
yeah,
Again, as a fan and you're working, oh,
you
we'll
book a
announce
day
it on the
off.
Saturday that actually we're not playing Friday next year. We're playing Thursday next week. Well, when did you tell us that? A week
Yeah.
before. It's obscene the way that the fans are treated through the TV deals and through the TV scheduling.
But the thing is, though, we've got now a separate governing body in RL Commercial that deals with the TV side, that deals with that.
Mm.
So why aren't they stepping in and going, these people have commercially mindset, apparently,
Who,
going,
who's in
listen,
charge of that
guys.
again?
Oh, yeah, 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 sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
The same guy that's about to be made Chairman Ming rather than
that's it. That's it.
So, but then you've got someone there with a commercial brain, apparently. What they should do is go, actually, RFL, why are we having clashes of games when we can actually say to Sky, look, here's you want 200,000 a game to come and watch on
Mm.
your TV. Just we're gonna move that fixture there. There you go, mate. Because surely it would be cheaper for Sky to do one per game than two in two separate locations with two film crews. With surely it'd be
Mm.
easier than just to
Of course
do
it
it
would.
game by
Of
game.
course it would. I mean, tragically, I think this is the biggest tragedy of all, particularly with the BBC, where we get hidden on an iPlayer. The game has been overtaken by the Women's Super League football,
Yeah.
and I find that absolutely staggering, to be honest. But
Hmm.
the number of live games that are on BBC with the Women's Super League, and if there was a clash of one of those games, then we would be on the iPlayer or on
Which
the internet or whatever it may be.
which is why we should be going to other free-to-air TVs and going,
Channel 4 was great.
guys,
Channel
Channel 4
4
was
was great.
amazing.
They put out the product, the commentary, the analysis, just the production was I thought was first class.
Spot on. It
They
was
had a great they had
everything
a
that we
great
needed.
they had a great panel. They had Helen Skelton, like you said. They had Adam Hills. They had good guests, and
Yeah.
it was really good. And it just got dumped to go back on the BBC. Um, we're
Travesty that
always
we allowed it to happen.
yeah. Sky. I just don't understand why the deal includes games that are hidden away on Sky Sports Plus. Because when you look what's on, I mean, there's one channel. I think it's Sky Sports Action, which is where a lot of the games are. If it's not Super League, it's NFL highlights all day long. It's like what's happening. I'm not bothered what's happening in the NFL.
But the
I'm not bothered.
NFL's
I'm not
only
bothered
on
when the
during our off
season's on
season
what's happening in
anyway.
the FL in the NFL, let alone in April.
When it's not even like a ball's been kicked.
I'm not
They only
bothered.
play like
Yeah,
October to January, don't they?
exactly that. So I don't know. It's just. But we don't seem. This is what I'm saying about sliding doors moments, and TV deals are the same. We don't get anywhere with them. We
Yeah,
don't improve on what we're doing, and this is where you see. This is where you say you need somebody to come in and take charge of this. Somebody that's got this know-how. I don't think the Hearns were the right answer. By the way, I'd have had a bit of dread. I think if Eddie Hearn had have
yeah.
come in and done that, I don't think that's the answer. I don't think he
But
knew
he wanted
anything about
complete
the game.
control,
Yeah,
which I
and
think
that I don't think. I think that would have been a complete
I would.
disaster for the sport as a whole.
I don't know.
We're
I'd,
not
I'd, I'd,
darts.
I'd,
We're
I'd
not.
also,
You know.
I'd also trust them more than I would trust Nigel Wood.
That's yeah, and that's probably right. You're probably right, and that's frightening.
Which you,
Yeah.
you labelled them as a disaster, and you just went, "I'm probably right with that." So that means that this can only end one way, and I think every rugby league fan can see that. Apart from the,
Of
I've
course I
got
can.
no more words to describe these people,
I've said
that
it on this
irritate me.
podcast. I've said it on other things, Johnny. I've said all our game, all our game, the pinnacle of the game should be beating Australia. That should
Yeah,
be the pinnacle, and everything else underneath that should fit into that. Where we are so strong as a sport that we have got a chance of beating the Kangaroos and jumping on that the back of the fact that we beat the Kangaroos. And if everything is aimed towards that, you would be strong commercially. The league would be stronger. The academy set was stronger. The player pool would be stronger. Because if that
yeah,
was your ultimate aim in rugby league, that was the ultimate aim. Everything is geared towards that. It's only what sports like cycling, rowing, things like that do to gear up for winning a certain number of gold medals at the Olympics every 4 years.
so we have to have a goal. The
Yeah,
goal shouldn't be we want to be the number one sport in England. That shouldn't
not
be
going to
it
happen.
because we
No,
never will be.
no,
It should be realistic goals, or you have your end goal, which is say it's beating Australia. Right, we need to beat Australia. We didn't beat Samoa at the last World Cup.
no.
We beat them in the Test series, but we didn't beat them when it matters. So what I mean is, you then go right. Okay, what we need to do to beat Australia in 15 years' time, we need to first beat Tonga. Right, we beat them. Okay, in 3 years after that, we beat Samoa. Right, we beat them. 3 years after that, we have to beat New Zealand, and then eventually will lead to beating Australia.
Mm.
So what I mean is basically you have timescales. It's project management.
Yeah, and I don't mean either beating Australia by farming out all our best players to the NRL so they're playing at that level every week. I don't mean bringing in
You
Australians with
mean
English
you
heritage.
mean bringing our league to that standard?
Yes, and bringing our academies and our player pool that are capable of playing to that standard in this country. Whether that's with
But
a bigger salary cap, whether that's with a bigger pool in schools or communities or whatever, but everything should be geared towards that.
yeah, and instead we're weakening our player pool by increasing quotas, by
Quotas. Yeah,
doing everything that's down on the game.
yeah.
And my final point is it's RFL related because finally, after 9 months of being frozen out by the RFL, which I'm not surprised that they've been frozen out by the RFL have finally decided to sit down with Salford players and have a chat to them and work out what's gone on. Now, from a sport that's proudly and prides itself on being from a socialist movement back in 1895 and putting player welfare first, this is embarrassing, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think the socialist movement for rugby league is, you could argue, as well
Died.
as long gone with the with the millionaire owners situation that we spoke about
Hmm.
before, maybe. But this should have been done at the very start, without question. And I think it's only
This should
come
have been done
about
within a
now.
week. This should
Well,
have been
it's
done within
only
a week of all this news.
well, if Salford players hadn't have announced this week that they were going to go on strike for the Leeds game this week, This
They wouldn't have
meeting
been
wouldn't have been
asked.
taken place.
They wouldn't have been asked.
No. And you wonder with Salford that they had a good win against a struggling Castleford last week. Was that a last hurrah for these players? Is that why they had the good win? Because
Possibly.
it's a last hurrah for that team and that club, and it's like,
One
thanks lads, see you
one
later. That's it.
last bit of
The
effort.
swan song, yeah.
One last
Whereas,
bit of this is where we are.
yeah, because would you this bridging loan that they keep talking about that hasn't come in? You wouldn't have any faith that that's gonna come in. And even if it does, what does that mean? A bridging loan? Does that just mean it's gonna pay them for this month? Or is it
Well,
next month?
it's like
You know?
a bridging visa. It gets you through until a certain amount of time.
Hmm.
So what is that certain amount of time?
Hmm.
Like you're saying, like was it next month? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 years? Is that how
But
long it's going to get?
if you're a player, I've seen players get stick for jumping ship from Salford. I've seen a lot of Salford fans give Dion Cross a bit of stick for leaving and putting sick notes in, etc. Whatever. You're not in that position. This is their livelihood. They've got families, they've got mortgages, they've got bills to pay. You can't live day to day when you've got a contract. You've got a contract for 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it may be. You can't live week to week, day to day, month to month, not knowing if you're going to be able to pay your bills at the end of the month. How does that allow you to give your best? Not this. Oh, I'm doing it for my mate next to me. No, no, no. I've got a wife and kids at home.
Yeah,
I've got to
it's
pay
like
my
that.
bills.
Play for the badge. The badge doesn't pay bills.
No.
The badge is a bit of cotton on a shirt. Like, what are you doing?
What fans don't realise, I think, a lot of the time is that for
The
players,
humans.
yeah, and it's a job. It's a
Yeah.
job. Players don't care about the club in the way that we do
No.
because they might play for a lot of the time 4, 5, 6 clubs in their career. They
Yeah.
just a lot of the time the players are commodities that then get moved on, and they might have an affiliation to one club. You very rarely you might have rare players that play for one club and that's it. Those players are becoming less and less now, aren't they?
Yeah.
To play, in that sort of thing. But it's a job. They happen to be the best at that job in the country. That's why they're getting paid professionally for it. And they're getting nothing near the money that they do in other sports, but they're doing it for the love because they're good at it. But that's the most important thing for them, is getting paid at the end of the month to be able to live. It's a living. It's a job for them,
Yeah.
like our jobs are for us.
Absolutely. And
You know,
and that we just fans just don't see that every now and
no,
again.
no.
It's easy for Salford fans to probably listen to this and go, it's easy for you to say you're St. Helens fans. You've never been in money troubles and money crisis, but like it's you've got to step back from the sport sometimes, and you've
Mm,
got to go, well, who are these people?
mm.
They're people. They're not players. They are people playing for your club. They are not players of club. They're not chess pieces. They
Yeah.
have feelings, hearts,
So
families.
what's what does I don't know what the outcome of this meeting is. I don't know what this meeting is meant to achieve. They're
But nor
sitting
do
down having
I.
a meeting with him. I'm not quite sure what the aim of the meeting is.
I mean, the aim of the meeting is to get them to play at the weekend from the RFL's point of view.
To
The aim of the
fulfil
meeting,
to fulfil the
fulfill
fixture.
the fixtures. Because if they don't, Sky have a clause in the contract that reduces the TV deal further.
And they will fulfil the fixture, but it's who with, which is the
Yeah,
second thing
which is
the
what.
RFL are then looking at.
But then what will happen then is they'll fine the club or deduct them points for bringing the game into disrepute.
Hmm.
So where's the incentive for anyone at Salford to do anything?
Hmm.
Where's the incentive from the RFL? Lose money. Other club owners, will they chip in and go, listen, if we don't help these out, will they give emergency loans to help them fulfill fixtures?
Yeah, I mean,
Because the club owners will lose out.
well, I mean, the problem here is obviously that the owners are not fit and proper owners, are they?
Salford, no,
Yeah.
Salford owners.
So who's passed them off in the first place to be fit and proper owners? And that's where the RFL have to take accountability for that.
They never take accountability though.
No. So
And these are, like you said in our very first episode, what do they govern? They govern nothing. And the thing is, though, this is finally a chance for the players to get everything off the chest that they need to do. It's a step. You know, it's not a great step, but this should have happened week one after all the money issues came on and
yeah,
about. Hasn't happened. It's been 9 months now since the initial talk of the sale and Salford's financial crisis. It's been 6 months since they got bought. It's been pretty much 5 months then since this money was never gonna appear. And then the bridging loan's been talked about for about six weeks ish.
yeah,
Again, non-existent, just like all this £100 million that was being transferred over from a bank account that every banker in the world kept saying it shouldn't take that long to transact. Like, it's just one of them, and unfortunately, Salford fans and Salford players, it's just something that you've basically just been handed a shit sandwich, and your owners are making you eat it.
yeah,
Which,
yeah,
if you guys have other clubs to go to, go. Don't look back.
yeah. Again, it's a job.
It's a job. You've
That's
got
it.
families, you've got kids, you've got everything else. And I think that's quite a nice, poignant way to end the episode on that emotional note. We've been talking for an hour and 16 minutes so far. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, Andy. We will be back with deep dives in the future, hopefully at the weekend. And this episode should be out on Thursday, the 17th of July, to coincide with Rugby League 26 being released. Oh, and also the final surprise that you've all been waiting for. It's a fan-led movement. I'm going to whip it up in about a minute that I proposed to Andy. I've seen it over here all the time. They release kits of old via the clubs, via the NRL, in order to make more money and revenue streams. This is something a lot of fans, especially myself, have been barking on at the RFL to do for years. Nothing's ever come into fruition. So I think on the 130th anniversary, August the 29th weekend, which is round 24, I believe, we will be hosting everyone, every club. Get your retro kits out. We're going to make a fan-led movement, a retro round that we'll be plugging pretty much weekly on both our podcasts to try and get everyone up and about, and let's create a new initiative to celebrate our anniversary because we don't do anything to celebrate and it's the sport we love. So why not?
Absolutely right. Yep.
Agree, Andy? Are we ready to do this? Make a fan-led movement.
We're ready. We're ready.
Fuck the
Thanks, Johnny.
RFL.
Thanks, Johnny.